Please adhere to YouTube selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be smoking a cigarette 2 hours after a rainstorm. It's not raining right now as it rained a couple hours ago, but nonetheless it is still a bit more wet out here than not. It is a little bit moist, but surprisingly not actually all that humid. I think due to the fact that it is a bit more chilly than not right now. The rain coming on a little bit harder than not certainly did bring down the temperature, that is for sure, and I'm not complaining one bit because I do like my colder weather than not, and so as such I am very excited to smoke a cigarette today, not only because I've been wanting to smoke a cigarette for the last hour or two, but also because, well, it feels great out here, frankly put. Without further ado, let's go ahead and grab my pack of American Spirit Black cigarettes from the United States. Let's go ahead and get it all opened up just like that. And let's go ahead and grab one of my cigarettes all out of the pack just like that as well. And now that I've got a cigarette all out of my pack, I suppose I should probably go ahead and get my lighter all out of my pocket. And now that I have my blue Bic lighter out of my pocket, without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get my cigarette all lit up, and let's go ahead and actually get to smoking a cigarette 2 hours after a rainstorm. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Although, in all honesty, saying that what happened earlier, what happened about 2 hours ago now, was just a rainstorm is honestly a bit of an understatement, because while it wasn't like super windy by any means, it did still get quite windy, frankly put. Windy enough to bring down two pretty large branches in the backyard where I am right now. Thankfully, none of them landed on the house, none of them landed on the porch, none of them damaged my smoking area or anything like that kind of thing. That would have been a shame, let me tell y'all what. I would have hated to lose my smoking area, even if just for a day, I will acknowledge. But they did nonetheless come down, and they're just sitting over there, and there's some pretty big branches, to say the least. They're gonna have to be hacked up and put in a garbage container or some sort of like bags or something like that kind of thing, I will acknowledge. They almost came down right on top of a bird feeder. They're like literally, no joke, like 2 feet away from a bird feeder. I'm like, oh my goodness, almost hit the bird feeder. That would have sucked. But I'm just looking up at the trees right now, and there's still a little bit of a breeze going on up there. It's pretty calm down here though, but I'm just looking up at the trees to try to figure out like where the branches came down and stuff like that. And I'm seeing one tree over there, and I'm just seeing just a fresh, clean, just break off point right on the tree. And the bark on that part of the tree is kind of like orange as well, or it's got some like sort of orange moss on it. Like the rest of the tree doesn't, but it does. So I think that means that that branch was probably rotting anyway. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'm not a botanist. I'm not a tree expert. I don't know what the right way of putting that job is, or that descriptor is for what somebody does or what their expertise is, but I'm not an expert on trees, but I figure that probably means that portion of the tree was rotting. And that came down, and I think that's actually because there's another really big one over there, and then this one because there's another one that's probably about like 6 to 8 feet away from me. And I'm just trying to figure out where this one came down from, because that's the break-off point over there, but I'm pretty sure that that one came from that tree, and then it fell down like that. Something like that. I'm seeing some areas where it looks like it might have come down, but from the angle I'm sitting in right now, I can't tell exactly, I will acknowledge. But either way, looking at tree branches and where they fell off on trees, I gotta admit, it's a pretty solid activity to do while you're smoking a cigarette. Overall though, it's been a pretty solid, chill day, frankly put. Bit more windy, bit more rainy than not today. Not right now, of course, but it was earlier. So I didn't really have any major plans for today, I will admit. My plan was pretty much just stay at home and just be productive doing what I need to do at home and whatnot kind of thing, and that's exactly what I've been doing. And it's been a good time. It's been a good time, frankly put. But a couple hours ago, I was just sitting, doing some stuff and stuff like that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, I just hear the wind, like, just pick up. I was just kind of like, what is going on? Is the rain coming down, like, super, super heavily right now? Because it was that loud. And, the rain was coming down, without a doubt. But it wasn't coming down, like, that hard. It was all just the wind hitting the house. Which is nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. It happens every once in a while in my local area. But still interesting, to me at least. Nature, and especially weather, is very interesting. I personally think the unpredictability of weather makes it a very interesting topic to talk about. Although maybe that's just my own personal take. But I personally think weather is pretty interesting to talk about. Especially when it comes to the predictability of it, sort of like the like really small microsystems, especially when it comes to weather. Like I was watching one geography video on YouTube, and I'll have to, if I remember, I'll have to link it in a comment, because it's a really good video. But I was watching a video, and I think the dude's from North Carolina as well. I don't know that for a fact, but I think he might be. And he made a video on like weather microclimates and micro like systems and stuff like that, and talking about like how there's like some lakes and some islands that get like thunderstorms at the exact same time, like 300 days out of the 365-day year, which is like crazy. I'm like, that's wild, because that's just not how it is where I live, of course. We got weather just on and off. Some days are sunny, some days are rainy, some days are sunny, some days are rainy, and some days are just cloudy kind of thing. And that's just how it is. But it's very interesting to see like weather microclimates that are caused by like the combination of like lakes or oceans, with the water coming up off of the lake and the ocean, and then it's kind of like bouncing off of the mountains that are like next to the lake, and then it's kind of like forming into a cloud, and then it forms into a thunderstorm kind of thing. I'm not an expert on this subject. Take what I say with a grain of salt, but it's all very interesting stuff to learn about. I gotta admit, I think most of what I watch on YouTube these days is edutainment videos. Yeah, I gotta admit, that's a lot of what I watch these days. I really enjoy those sort of videos, I'm not gonna lie. Just chilling though, honestly. Enjoying my smoke. Enjoying the weather right now, because it feels great out here right now. Like, it's a little bit chilly, don't get me wrong. I'm wearing my beanie, I'm wearing my hoodie. I've got my gator on as well, because it just be a little bit breezy. I was sitting out here for a minute without my beanie and gator on. And I started getting a little bit chilly, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna put these on, and I'm feeling much more comfortable now. I think I should probably grab myself a little bit of a screenshot for this video though now, shouldn't I? So I'm gonna go and do that real quick. Excuse me. Supposedly, it's not supposed to rain anymore today. We'll find out. It's quite cloudy right now. Right after the rainstorm finished, it got quite sunny very suddenly. But I feel like I gotta sneeze. Some of the smoke went in my nose, and now I feel like I gotta sneeze. Maybe a shot. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm yawning instead of sneezing. But yeah, weather is interesting. Microclimates, micro-ecosystems, very interesting as well. One of my things I do if I'm just like sitting at my computer and I'm like, okay, I have time. I don't want to watch TV though. I don't want to play any video games right now. But I want to do something else, like before I go to bed, kind of thing. What I'll do is I'll look at Wikipedia and I'll look at like the list of like endangered or extinct animals, which is like on one hand kind of depressing, but on the other hand like super interesting. And I really enjoy looking at that because it's kind of like, okay, what happened to these animals to cause that? And like, why are they going extinct or are extinct now? One thing I need to look into more though, and I know by the time this video goes live, it's going to be old news, but supposedly they resurrected the dire wolf. I've been seeing some news headlines about that. I don't know if that's like really true or not, but I need to like look that up and see like how factually true that actually is. Like, did they actually resurrect the dire wolf, or did they just like genetically modify or like breed wolves to look like dire wolves? Like, I don't know. But if it's actually dire wolves, that's cool. That's cool. Does that mean, if they actually brought back the dire wolf, does that mean we're actually getting to like Jurassic Park levels? Like, I don't know. I don't know if Jurassic Park would really work. But if we're able to resurrect a species from 10,000 years ago, I don't know when the dire wolves went extinct, but a while back. But if we're able to resurrect a species, if we can get DNA or like samples from like other species, then that's huge. Like, would we be able to resurrect the woolly mammoth? Like, I think resurrecting the dinosaurs is a bad idea. I don't think it's a very good idea. I think that's a horrible idea. It would not go very well. I think Jurassic Park has a point there. But like, woolly mammoths are just cool, kind of thing. I don't know. There is kind of an ethical dilemma there as well. Like, is it cool to resurrect an extinct species? Yes, it is. But at the same time, there's kind of I'm like, there's an ethical dilemma on both sides, I feel like. Because, like, one argument is, okay, let's bring back the species and save it from extinction. Which I think definitely makes a lot of sense, especially for like species that humanity had a really large part in, well, the extinction of, like dodo birds and stuff like that, and like Carolina parakeets and whatnot. I think there's definitely a really large argument to be made to bring those back because humans were pretty much the only cause of their extinction. But other animals that humans didn't really have any hand in causing to go extinct, I don't know if there's as much of an ethical argument there for pro bringing them back. But would it be cool? Yes, it would. But I also understand the ethical dilemma of reintroducing a species. Like, I know they wouldn't really be like reintroduced into like the wilderness. Like, that's a bad idea, kind of thing. But like, it's still an animal. I would want it to have space to walk around and stuff like that, kind of thing. And I would want it to be treated well, humanely, as any other animal would, even if it's not naturally in any ecosystem around the world these days. I don't know. I feel like there's an ethical dilemma on both sides. Like, yeah, I think it would be cool to bring woolly mammoths back, and I think that would be super badass. But like, should we really bring them back? Is that really a good idea? I don't know. If those were, if somebody did get a woolly mammoth to come back though, which I think is possible. I think that is possible. We have found multiple, pretty much mostly intact, frozen woolly mammoths. We could probably get something off of that to recreate them. But, like, but, like, if they were brought back, I would want them to be brought back, like, only with the caveat that they can never be released into the ecosystem, as one would hope, and two, that they're going to be treated, like, really humanely. Like, their entire ecosystem, wherever they are, is going to be like it would be back in the day kind of thing. Like, I don't want a woolly mammoth to be placed in Florida, because that's just messed up. It's a woolly mammoth. They're meant to be on, like, the northern plateaus and stuff like that kind of thing. They're not meant to be in Florida. Yeah. Like, I would want to make sure they're treated ethically. I don't know. There's ethical dilemmas both ways, I feel like. Both for and against bringing back extinct species, and I think that's really interesting. I'm going to have another cigarette, honestly. I'm really enjoying this talk. I'm not going to have another American Spear Black, though. I was thinking about it. But instead, I'm actually going to have a Lambert & Butler Original Silver cigarette from the UK. Just have a little bit of a lighter, full-flavored cigarette for the second cigarette. I don't want to overwhelm myself with nicotine too much, I will acknowledge. But yeah, Could dodo birds be brought back? I don't know, I wonder. I don't know, I need to look more into the whole direwolf situation. I don't know really any facts about it. I should actually really look into it. I'm just kind of talking, I'll acknowledge. As said, by the time this video goes live, that's old news. But I should look into that a little bit more. But if it's true, if direwolves have actually been brought back, then there's now a precedent to bring other animals back. That is interesting to think about. Now, whether you're for or against that precedent is up to personal opinion, of course. But there is a precedent nonetheless. If they actually brought direwolves back, then, like, I don't know, I feel like I need to do some research on this. For all I know, the whole thing is AI and I've been tricked. I've got no idea. For all I know, it's an elaborate April Fool's joke. I've got no clue. I need to look it up. But either way, interesting discussion, interesting talk, interesting discussion without a doubt. Just chilling though, in all honesty. I think the question is though, what species would I want to see get brought back the most? Like, out of any extinct species, which is the one I want to see get brought back? Well, we can go ahead and discount species that either I think would be really scary to have brought back, or species that just wouldn't work with how the world is today, like giant centipedes, for example. They don't work today because giant centipedes were so big back in the day, back even before the dinosaurs, because there was so much oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere that they could grow to be like 9 foot long kind of thing. It just worked like that. So those are just not going to work, kind of thing. Nor would I want those to be brought back because that's scary, yo. Giant centipedes, centipedes are cool. Millipedes, cool. But giant centipedes? Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that one. No thank you. T-Rex? Nah. Even like Stegosaurus or something like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think humans could handle that in any real fashion. But like woolly mammoths, I feel like would be really cool to bring back. And I feel like those would probably be like, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, I think if I could choose any animal to have brought back, it would probably be woolly mammoths. whether full-size ones or dwarf ones, because there were dwarf woolly mammoths, if I remember correctly. I think those being brought back would be pretty cool, frankly put. Yeah. And I think there's an argument to be made with woolly mammoths as well. Because, well, they're woolly mammoths. They're different than elephants. Different enough to be their own species, of course. But also humans would have an idea of how to take care of them, how to handle them, and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, whether they actually should or shouldn't be brought back is up to discussion. I don't really know if they should or shouldn't be, honestly. I'd have to do some research and then really decide my opinion on that after doing research, frankly put. I'd have to see some arguments from both sides. Because I feel like I just don't really have a good idea of whether I think they should or shouldn't be brought back right now. But would it be interesting to have woolly mammoths brought back? Yes, and if I had to choose any animal to be brought back from extinction, well, would I really choose woolly mammoths, though? Or because, I mean, like, there's, like, Tasmanian tigers as well. And those are cool. And there's so many other animals as well. But just thinking, okay, I'm just going to clarify this. I was really only thinking about, like, animals that, like, went extinct, like, a very long time ago. Like, not within, like, the last couple hundred years. To even, like, last 1,000 years. Like, last couple hundred years, Tasmanian tiger. Or Carolina parakeet. I think that would be really interesting. Reintroduce them into the ecosystems? I don't know about that. But either way, it would still be very interesting. Yeah, this is a very interesting topic of discussion, though, because I feel like it's very ethically both one side and the other. I honestly really don't know how to feel about whether we actually could bring back extinct animals or not. I actually really don't know how to feel about it. Because there's arguments to be made on both sides. One, they're extinct. They have been extinct for a long time. The ecosystem is now naturally what it is now. And that's just kind of how things are. Like, whether we should or shouldn't actually bring back, like, species. I don't know. I see arguments on both sides. I don't really know how I feel on it myself. But it would be cool. I can confirm that. It would be cool at a minimum, but I don't really know how to actually feel. Like, I don't know if it's actually something that should be done or not. I'll have to do some research. But that was the second segment of the video, and I think that was all I wanted when it comes to smokes for today. I'm feeling pretty nice, feeling pretty buzzed, feeling pretty good, and I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video where I smoked a cigarette about 2 hours after a rainstorm in my local area. If you guys have indeed enjoyed watching this video today, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my website, everything like that, all in the description down below. Go check it all out, and make sure to also let me know in the comments down below what your favorite extinct species is and what your opinion on whether they should be brought back or not is. Looking forward to seeing y'all's arguments for or against it. Either way, I got nothing wrong with arguing both sides. I think both sides have valid points to make. But, hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. Until the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?